Hey warrior, listen closely. You've been living in tomorrow while bleeding today, racing your mind toward futures that haven't happened, rehearsing disasters that never arrived, carrying fear like it's preparation. You wake up tired, not because you worked too hard, but because your thoughts never slept. You call it responsibility, you call it realism, but deep down, you know the truth. Worry has been stealing your life one moment at a time. You stand here now, breathing, existing, alive in this exact second, and yet your mind keeps leaving the room. It runs ahead, chasing what if, dragging back what was, never staying long enough to feel what is. Somewhere along the way, you learn to survive by anticipating pain instead of inhabiting strength. You learned to live everywhere except the present. The Stoics saw this coming centuries ago. They watched people suffer not from hunger or war alone, but from imagination untethered, from minds that refused to stay where their feet were planted. They understood something most people still resist today. Worrying about the future does not protect you. It robs you. And that theft ends here. This isn't another motivational promise you forget next week. This isn't inspiration meant to make you feel good for 5 minutes and hollow again by nightfall. This is a reckoning, a return, a remembering. Because the present moment is not small. It is not insignificant. It is the only place where your power has ever existed. Lesson 1. The present is the only place you can act. The Stoics didn't deny the future. They prepared for it, but they never lived inside it. They knew preparation happens now, not later. Action happens now, not tomorrow. Courage exists only in the present tense. You cannot be brave yesterday. You cannot be disciplined tomorrow. You can only choose now. Every time you postpone living until conditions improve, you surrender your agency. The future is a concept. The present is a battlefield. And every second you remain here, fully, you reclaim ground you didn't know you lost. Lesson 2. Worry is a false sense of control. Worry feels productive. It disguises itself as planning, as foresight, as intelligence. But the Stoics called it what it is, a misuse of imagination. You replay conversations that haven't happened. You argue with ghosts. You suffer losses that never came. And while your mind performs these rehearsals, life passes unattended. Control was never meant to be exercised over outcomes. It was meant to be exercised over responses. When you worry, you abandon that control entirely. Peace doesn't come from predicting everything. It comes from trusting yourself to meet whatever comes. Lesson 3. Now is enough. The Stoics believed most misery comes from one dangerous thought. This moment is not enough. So you reach forward, you rush, you resist. But this moment, flawed, unfinished, imperfect, is sufficient for virtue. You don't need ideal conditions to act with integrity. You don't need certainty to act with courage. You don't need comfort to practice discipline. Right now is enough to begin becoming who you respect. Lesson 4. The future is built by presence, not panic. You don't shape tomorrow by worrying about it. You shape it by how deliberately you live today. Panic fractures attention. Presence sharpens it. The Stoics trained themselves to ask one question repeatedly. What is required of me in this moment? Not next year. Not 10 steps ahead. This step. And when you master this step, the next one reveals itself. Lesson 5. Anxiety is optional suffering. Pain is inevitable. Loss will come. Difficulty is guaranteed. But anxiety, that's pain multiplied by imagination. The Stoics didn't promise a painless life. They promised a life free from unnecessary suffering. When you add fear to what hasn't happened, you double the burden without doubling strength. Strength comes from meeting reality as it is, not as your fears paint it. Lesson 6. Attention is your most valuable asset. Where your attention goes, your life follows. If it lives in regret, you relive wounds. If it lives in fear, you relive threats. If it lives in the present, you live life. The Stoics treated attention like a weapon, sharp, focused, intentional. They didn't waste it on speculation. They invested it in character. You don't need more time, you need more presence. Lesson 7. Calm is not passive, it is power. Stillness is misunderstood. Calm is often mistaken for weakness. But the Stoics knew calm is what allows clear judgment under pressure. A mind consumed by the future cannot respond wisely in the present. Calm doesn't remove urgency, it refines it. When you stop racing ahead mentally, your actions become precise, purposeful, effective. Lesson 8. Most fear never arrives. The Stoics observed that people suffer more in imagination than in reality. And centuries later, the truth remains unchanged. Most of what you fear will never happen. Most of what you dread dissolves on contact with reality. And what does happen is never met by the version of you that feared it. You grow, you adapt, you endure. Lesson 9. You are always training. Every moment is training. When you choose presence over panic, you train resilience. When you release future fear, you train trust. When you stay grounded, you train mastery. Stoicism isn't philosophy for comfort. It's philosophy for strength. And strength is built in the quiet choice to remain here, now, steady. Lesson 10. The mind must be guarded. The Stoics guarded their minds the way warriors guard gates. Not every thought was allowed entry. Not every fear was entertained. Just because a thought appears doesn't mean it deserves belief. The present moment is your filter. If a thought pulls you away from what you can act on now, it weakens you. You are not obligated to follow every thought into the future. Lesson 11. Presence restores dignity. There is dignity in being fully where you are, in speaking without distraction, in listening without planning your response, in acting without hesitation rooted in fear. When you stop living ahead of yourself, you stop fragmenting who you are. You become whole again, and wholeness commands respect. First, from yourself. Lesson 12. This moment is the door. The Stoics didn't wait for perfect timing. They understood that now is always the entrance. You don't cross into strength someday. You step into it here, quietly, deliberately. This moment, ordinary, unremarkable, fleeting, is the same place every great transformation has ever begun. So stop running ahead. Stop rehearsing disaster. Stop abandoning the only place where you can actually live. Stand here, breathe, choose. The future will come whether you worry or not, but the present only belongs to those brave enough to stay. And today, right now, you stay.